Barbie! I told you to wait in the dream house.
Boys, avenge me! Avenge me! Avengers!
Bazinga.
Scruffy-looking nerf herders.
Ethan Hunt contacted you?
I am good, Rooster. I'm very good.
So you are Yoi's a trainer who trains.
Gonzo the Great will ride this baby again.
Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of the Real Serious Podcast. I am your host, Hunter, along with Charles. Good evening, Charles. How are you?
Good evening, Hunter. I'm good. I could be better. I would have been a little better if the 49ers had won. We literally just watched the Super Bowl, and I think we're both pretty disappointed with the result.
Yeah, so two things there. Number one, we are devoted to you, the fans, so we waited to record until after the Super Bowl so we could talk about the trailers that dropped. And I agree. I do wish the 49ers won.
What a stinker. What an absolute bummer.
Yeah. It was a boring game.
Oh,
It just wasn't good.
First half was boring.
No, it was boring.
First half was boring. I think the second half was pretty entertaining. A couple of lead changes. Went to OT. That's always entertaining. Score in the 20s. Like, it wasn't low scoring in the end. But, yeah, the first half
It just felt like nothing exciting happened.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't, think about the play of the game. There just wasn't one.
Well, when the Niners they did a trickery pass, like a receiver.
Yeah,
ended up throwing
kinda.
it. But yeah, besides that, like when the Chiefs went down the field, every time it was like check down passes, or they'd break away for like 20 yards, but it wasn't. Yeah, like no crazy catches, no crazy interceptions, a couple fumbles, but it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just no one wanted the Chiefs.
No,
It's just too
no one
bad,
wanted the Chiefs,
really.
and no one really wanted the 49ers, but then they were like, I guess if the 49ers are here, let's have them win.
Yeah.
And they just didn't. And, it was one of those where you knew what was going to happen. Like, the second that the Chiefs started to go down the field in overtime, you're like, I've seen this a million times.
Yeah.
We all know what's about to happen.
Yeah. When Niners went up by 3 with, it was 2 minutes left in regular time. What's the, correct...
During regulation.
Regulation, thank you. During regulation, I turned to Jenna, and I was like, if I were the Niners, I would not feel secure at all. Giving Patrick Mahomes 2 minutes and only up by 3, I would not feel good if I were them. And Chiefs went on, tied it. Niners had a chance in OT. Just too bad.
Yeah, no, real kind of letdown.
Yeah.
And then the Patrick Mahomes at the end saying, this is the beginning of the dynasty.
Oh, he said
Yikes.
that?
Yes. This is the beginning, which is yikes. So that's where we are now. That's where we are. They're the new Patriots, which...
But they stink. The Patriots had... Well, I mean, Tom Brady, when he played, wasn't necessarily lovable. He was also kind of...
I know. I don't know. I'd love to find out what the difference is, because I agree with you. I liked the Patriots when they were winning. I don't like the Chiefs when they're winning, and I can't figure out why.
Well, Tom Brady wasn't... He was kind of similar. I think the difference is Patrick Mahomes is more of a crybaby, and he gets away with a ton. Tom Brady was kind of just a badass. He would get in other people's faces. He would, walk up to Ray Lewis and just, talk shit. Patrick Mahomes
Yeah, watching, Travis Kelce yell on the sideline. I was like...
Yeah, at his coach and shoving him.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you're so unlikable.
Yeah, it's just horrible. And then Taylor Swift is up there. I mean, I'm not.
I know,
hating on
and to
Taylor
do
Swift.
that as a fellow podcaster, you're making us look bad.
Mm-hmm,
Travis, you have to understand who you are. You're one of us.
I'm curious if Taylor Swift is going to mention anything to him about that, or
Yeah,
because
Travis
there's
is not
nothing.
what we do.
There's nothing that Travis, in my opinion, can say that will validate that. I think the whole thing. Some of my friends were talking about it. People are speculating that he got mad at Andy Reid because if he had been in, he would have blocked the guy that fumbled or that forced the fumble, and there
which I don't disagree with. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty true.
But you don't go up to your coach and shove him and yell in his face, especially when he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's older.
Yeah,
you don't do that. Just scumbag.
No, it was
move.
a bad look, and it's they're not fun to watch, which sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, but going from a topic we were going to talk about in our very first episode, is Brock Purdy no longer a system quarterback? Yikes! Because I think he might be still watching this game.
You think he is?
There were a lot of there were a lot of passes that were very overthrown when he needed to make a clutch play. There were a lot of times where it's like, oh, here he goes, he's going to run it, and then he kind of got like 2 or 3 yards. I kind of still think that he's still a game manager because, like, the moments where the guys around him couldn't do the next thing, he never stepped up to take over.
Yeah.
Which is what I think quarterbacks who are elite do.
Well,
like Patrick Mahomes did on that last drive. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm just saying that I think that his teammates clearly elevate him to a level he wouldn't be on other teams.
I'm going to give my take that I've been giving for the entire season. And that is, if you took any of the starting quarterbacks in the league, any of the 32, if you took Gardner Minshew and you put any of them on the 49ers, they're a playoff team. Brock Purdy does not bring that team to the playoffs. Any quarterback that's starting could do that. Because if you looked at their roster tonight, they showed their receiving core, like running back, receiving core, tight end, and it was all pro. Of the 5, there was one that wasn't all pro. Like, that's just absurd, you know? So I think you take any quarterback, they become a playoff team. Does that mean I think they're the 1 seed? No. I think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, but he's also still he's pretty much a rookie. He started in only the postseason last year. This year he's pretty much a rookie, like a second-year rookie, and we saw glimpses of I'm not gonna say greatness, but we saw glimpses of really good quarterback play, and we saw a lot of glimpses of not great quarterback play, and I think that just comes with experience. Right now, he's not elite. I don't think he is, but he has made some really good plays and really good throws that if you give him like 2 years, give him like enough time to get experience as a quarterback in the league, then I think he will be in the conversation of like top 5 easily. You know, especially with that team. Like, he's at a great advantage.
I'll get behind this.
And I'm not going to fault him for that because, if he has a huge advantage, he better use it. But I think he'll be able to leverage that to become a great quarterback.
Okay. No, I don't disagree with that. I think that's a good take.
I think that was a really long rant.
No, I don't disagree. And that was talking football on the Real Serious podcast.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. We did it. We branched out into other things that aren't just movies and TV. Look at us. Who would have thought?
I know. Yeah. We also have playoff predictions in our potential topics.
Which we'll bring back next year, I guess.
Yeah, we'll bring it back in a year.
Since the playoffs already happened.
Yeah.
And then, so this week is different for those listening to the podcast. There's not really a big release this week. And with that, we're not going to do a review. We're going to just really break it down into news and trailers. There's a ton of news. There's a ton of trailers.
And we can talk about what we watched this week because I saw a little something.
What'd you see this week?
That I think is going to be a throwback to a past pod episode, and I think that you guys are going to be pretty interested in hearing about my take. I finished one movie and I watched another movie and I started a third movie this week.
Okay.
Finished Emperor's New Groove.
Nice.
Okay, older Disney movie. Rocked.
Yep.
I give it 4 stars. Shout out our roommate Riley for suggesting this one, watching with me. And then the other one I watched was John Wick, which is a movie that we talked about.
Yes.
And I think the first episode. I think it was the first episode.
Yeah, and I learned you never saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I watched that when I was back home.
So will you watch the rest of them?
Yeah, that's the third movie I started. I started chapter 2, and I'm almost finished with it. I'd say, so I gave John Wick a 3.5, and I would say I will probably give the second one a 3.5, and I think it's slightly worse than the first one.
I'd say ranking them, it's like you're like, okay, I get what's going on here, like it's pretty good. 2, you're like, they did it again. Like, they actually were able to do it again. 3, I think, is a clear step up from 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then 4 is like when they finally figure it out.
Okay.
Like 4 is like they've gotten confident in what they're doing. I think 4 is leaps and bounds above the rest.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I think
just keep that in mind.
I think that is the popular opinion too, because
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah.
yeah. So honestly, though, it reminded me a lot of The Beekeeper. I think The Beekeeper took a lot of inspiration out of John Wick, or from John Wick.
I don't hate that take. I actually watched something because of The Beekeeper this week.
Oh, and what is that?
Yes. So I was inspired by The Beekeeper, and so I decided to watch a different David Ayer movie called Fury, the 2014 tank movie with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf. It was on Netflix. I was like, mine as well, and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and it was good. It was a fun little watch.
Nice.
I also watched. I'm trying to get into a little bit more of Studio Ghibli anime, and so I watched Spirited Away.
From
2001.
I've heard very good things.
I have not given it a score.
Okay.
It's been 2 days since I finished it, and I'm still sitting with it because it's very strange. Like, I understand and can recognize that it's fantastic. I just don't know if it's for me. And so, like, I have this kind of difference in my head where it's like, I know this is amazing. Like, it's maybe when I see like art sometimes, which film is art, but I recognize the work that went into this. I understand why it's so amazing, but maybe it's not for me. That's kind of how I feel about this. So I got to really sit with it a little longer. I'm thinking of maybe watching another Studio Ghibli and kind of going from there to see if they keep resonating with me. Because I'd like to keep watching them.
It got 4.5 stars on average on Letterboxd.
Yeah, no, it's very popular.
That's gnarly.
I also started Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is decent.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Halo Season 2. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Season 2 started. Definitely improvement on Season 1 so far. But my God, he takes that helmet off way too much.
Dang.
He takes it off all the time.
I'm
not interested.
Honestly, that might not even be... That might be because the actor wants FaceTime.
Okay, I've thought about it. I completely agree. That's 100% what it is. But my issue is that shouldn't be what the show is.
Yeah, I mean,
this show should be so simple. You hire a stunt actor whose only job is stunts. You bring in one of the most iconic voices in video games, have him revoice Master Chief, and you just have Master Chief go on adventures and show up and do cool things.
I mean,
it's such a simple concept.
You know what show that they did that exact same thing and
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
And then he had it. Yes. But Master Chief is the cooler version of the Mandalorian.
Okay, pump the brakes.
No,
he's cool.
He is. He's the cooler version. Him and Cortana are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I don't know if this is an argument. I'm not really familiar enough with Halo to make that argument, and that is probably why I don't think Master Chief is as cool.
All right, I want to just do a quick thing real fast about Halo. The Halo 3 marketing campaign is one of the coolest campaigns of all time because the whole campaign centers around this museum of the future where it looks back at the Human Covenant War, which is the war you play through during the game. And it has these interviews with like veterans of the war, and it's all these older gentlemen talking about how it was basically death was on the horizon until the Master Chief showed up and saved the day. The guy you get to play as in the game. It is so awesome. And it makes it's just do that. Just do that. Make that the show. It's so simple. I hate that it's so complicated. Oh well. Maybe one day I'll get a good Halo adaptation. One day.
I also watched one more thing that I forgot to mention.
Ooh.
I think I forgot to mention it because I didn't review it on my Letterboxd because I had already watched it, and that is Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. It was a 5-star.
You gave that.
Yeah, it's still a 5-star because it's pure epicness and greatness.
No.
And you know what? Jenna gave it a 4.5. So
moving up in the world.
I know.
Nice.
I'm feeling a 5-star. I'm feeling a mutual 5-star on Return of the King.
I mean, I would expect that to happen.
Anything short of
Return
that
of the King is my only 5-star as well for that series.
Yeah.
So, All right, you ready to get into some news?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's keep the video game train going after Halo. Let's talk about The Last of Us Season 2. So The Last of Us Season 2 will be split into The Last of Us Game 2 will be split into 2 seasons. Season 2 and Season 3 of the show. I think this is a very good choice because you can restructure The Last of Us 2 into a better story. So, I'm going to spoil it for you. Spoiler alert on The Last of Us game. Do you care if I spoil it?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, okay. Anyway, I won't spoil it that much then. There's a character introduced named Abby, and the way the game goes is basically you play as Ellie, and then you play as Abby, and you kind of alternate back and forth throughout the whole game.
Okay.
The issue with that is...
Oh.
It jumps around in time a lot.
I see.
So you'll play as Ellie and get to a point where you meet with Abby, and then you'll go back and play as Abby and get to the point where you meet Ellie. And then you'll jump 6 months in the future and play as Abby again. And then it plays as Ellie. And it's very confusing timeline-wise. I think you can take those chunks, make it linear, and then actually have a good middle point where you split it and then keep going into Season 3. That's my thought process with it. And there's a very interesting point in the game where I think you could make that cutoff. So we'll see. I think it's the correct choice, in my personal opinion.
I don't have much of an input just because I didn't play, so I don't know to the extent of this.
And I'm not gonna, and I don't want to spoil what the
changing
cliffhanger
time.
would be too.
But I mean, yeah, I think 2 seasons would probably be the easiest and most appropriate for it. When is it releasing? Season 2.
I think they start filming in the next few months.
Okay, so it's not releasing probably until 2025.
Correct. And then, especially because one of our news stories talks about why Pedro Pascal might be a little busy. So they got to figure that out.
Let's go.
No, but I don't think it'll be until 2025. And then the question is, will you kind of keep going after the games? Because The Last of Us 2 is the Last of Us. And they might make a third. Probably won't, but like that game also kind of ends on a point where like you can see it keep going. So we'll have to see what kind of happens there. But I'm very excited for this. It's one of my favorite shows the last few years, one of my favorite game series, and I think that they have now the opportunity to change it and make it even better than the game. So we'll see.
Cool.
Next news topic. Well, actually, we'll stick with Pedro Pascal. So Pedro Pascal was at an awards event over the weekend, and on like the sheet where it talked about, hey, info about who's presenting awards, it mentioned he was filming Fantastic Four soon, because he's apparently Reed Richards. No official word on that, and then right afterwards, once that kind of leaked, they removed it from that site. So boom, off the awards site. So then news outlets reported on that, and then the director of Fantastic Four, Matt Shakman, posted it on his Instagram story saying Pedro Pascal will be in Fantastic Four.
But is he
basically confirming he's Reed Richards?
Is he Reed Richards or is he just in Fantastic Four?
Well, hang on. And then Matt Shakman deleted his Instagram.
Bro.
Because I think Marvel came after him and was like, you can't be saying this.
Why?
We haven't announced it. Because they haven't announced it. I think they're saving it for Comic-Con. So I think they're going to do a big announcement at Comic-Con and announce it to everybody who Fantastic Four is.
Gosh.
Which will be amazing. Which it seems like the casting is already leaked basically completely, but they're still probably waiting, at least maybe for a villain or something else. But yeah, no, pretty exciting. I think it's clear that this film is finally getting off the ground after what feels like years of waiting. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a ton of pressure on it. This and Deadpool 3 have the most pressure on it of any movie in the Marvel slate, maybe ever. Just because of how much it means, the state Marvel's in. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this. But no, I think that Fantastic Four has a chance to be very, very successful if they allow it to be.
Do you know who the villain's going to be?
Not yet. I beg, do not make it Doctor Doom. Don't do it yet.
Who would you
Don't
prefer?
make it Doctor Doom. Don't make it Galactus. Honestly, I would be very cool if they made it the Beyonder or something, or even had like maybe no villain. In and of the fact that maybe they have Reed be the antagonist, because there's a lot of great comic arcs where Reed is the antagonist, and I think that'd be kind of an interesting way to do it. But I don't know.
Beyonder.
just see.
I don't know if Beyonder would be good. Beyonder is a tank.
Yeah, but that could explain why they had to maybe do something else. And here, let's see it. Let me Google Fantastic Four villains, because I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Kang the Conqueror. There's a guy called Puppet Master. The Beyonder. Mephisto.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
The Frightful Four, which is like the anti-Fantastic Four.
Bruh.
Silver Surfer would be pretty awesome, actually, as a villain.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
I don't know. I'd be okay with anyone except for Doctor Doom and Galactus, because I think you have to wait on those.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Doom, you can't waste him. Like, he could be the next villain. You can't waste him on a standalone movie or potential standalone.
And I think Doctor Doom needs to be Secret Wars level villain.
Yeah.
Like, I think you need to build him up the same way you built up Thanos, because he needs to be that next huge threat.
I agree.
And then the final threat should be Galactus. It's cut and dry what this should be, and the fact that it isn't already is pretty shocking.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a very confusing movie. So, it was rumored over the weekend that Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, we talked about it last week, would be getting a new sequel. That was then confirmed by Jurassic World itself. They announced, let me pull up the exact date, that on summer 2025, which is very soon, July 2nd, 2025, which, if I recall, is a week prior to the new Superman coming out, that there would be a new Jurassic World. And it was rumored that it would be directed by David Leitch, who has directed most recently Bullet Train and a few other things like that. And then he dropped out of the project due to creative differences. So there's no director. It comes out in just over a year, and no shot this comes out. No shot.
Yeah, what?
There's no casting. There's no director. It might be written, but in basically a year, there's no way you turn around a $200 million dinosaur movie with all that CGI. It's just not possible.
This might be a dumpster fire.
If it doesn't get delayed, it will be, but I think it's going to be delayed.
Even if it gets delayed, you don't think it's going to be a dumpster fire?
It probably will be. The fact they were looking at David Leitch makes me think it's going to be a dumpster fire, because it clearly means they're going in the action route when I think they should go in the horror route and go back to making Jurassic Park scary. But there's just no shot this comes out.
Yeah.
Which, a David Leitch Jurassic Park movie would have been so bad. So I think we dodged a bullet there. No pun intended with Bullet Train.
That was a good movie. I actually really liked Bullet Train.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very good for what it was. But just wow.
Yeah.
No shot this comes out. And also, if you're Superman Legacy, you got to be thinking, what the hell? Like, why are we putting a Jurassic World movie the week before we're coming out with this brand new reboot of a brand new IP? Like, it's just, that movie needs as much space as possible. And so now I don't think this is actually going to happen, this Jurassic Park movie, but like, you'd be like, what? We need space here. So
Yeah.
there's that, which that apparently is filming very soon. So hopefully we'll get some information about that pretty soon. Next up on news, we're going to skip the Disney stuff all the way to the end.
Yeah, good call.
Charles, did you see Prey, the Predator movie on Hulu?
I did not.
All right, I would add that to your list.
Okay.
First and foremost. Prey was incredible. It was probably the best Predator movie outside the original. and there is a new one in the works. It is from the same director, Dan Trachtenberg, and this Predator will be a sequel. Well, they're all sequels basically to the original, but instead of being set in the past, which the Prey was set in 1719, this one will be set in the future, which I think is really interesting. And this will also feature a female lead, as Prey did. I think this is a very cool idea. And now there's actually 2 coming. I think that there's the sequel to Prey. Oh, no, there's just one. Sorry. So it's just called Predator Badlands. It's set in the future. There's also a rumor that there's another one coming where it's set in ancient Japan, and the Predators go up against samurai.
Oh.
Which would be
That would
incredible.
That'd be nice.
It's such a simple formula. Take a Predator and put him against cool people in history.
Yeah.
That would be such a like, all right, Predator against the Knights of the Round Table. Predator against samurai. A Predator shows up in like World War One. That like, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Dude, Prey is so good. You got to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
Have you seen any of the Predators?
No.
Oh, you're missing out.
I know.
Well, maybe we should watch the first one. The first one is very good.
Yeah. We're watching Dune this week.
Yeah, we are. We're doing our Dune rewatch this week for sure. I was thinking maybe Friday or Wednesday Thursday we're doing the double feature. We're doing the double feature Bob Marley, Madam Web. What America wants.
That's gonna be.
Yeah. We're so back.
Is there a popcorn bucket?
I sure hope not.
I hope not as well.
Because I will somehow, for some reason, buy it. But no, it's going to be... Oh, I cannot wait for Thursday. But no, I think Friday we'll do Dune. And we'll be live tweeting it. I'll also, if you are a fan of the podcast, you should be following us on Twitter, Instagram, because I live tweet when stuff comes out. And so I was live tweeting that whole game about new trailers. So you better
He's on it.
Better be following the socials.
This guy is the marketing
I'm on
team. He's the marketing team that other marketing teams fear. Dude
Agreed.
Is quick with it.
Agreed. All right. So now there is a new Game of Thrones show coming, which, okay, sign me up. All about Aragon. Is it Aragon?
Aragorn?
Aragorn's conquest.
It's definitely not Aragorn. Aragorn is like
Aegon. Oh, it's Aegon. It's Aegon. Duh.
Okay,
Aegon
yeah.
Targaryen. Stupid.
Definitely.
I've literally watched the show and I can't think of the name. Anyway, it's about Aegon Targaryen's conquest of all of Westeros. So they're starting to work on it right now. It's being written by Matt Tomlin, who also wrote The Batman and is writing The Batman 2. And kind of awesome. I think these spin-off shows have been incredible. I think Game of Thrones is incredible. But, like, just give me more. And if HBO believes in it, it means it's probably pretty good. So, sign me up.
You think spin-off shows in general have been good, or the Game of Thrones
I
stuff?
think the Game of Thrones spin-off shows have been
Okay,
good.
I was about to say Rings of Power was...
Yeah. Well, they spend a lot of money on that show. And also, that's not a spin-off show. Whoa. That does not connect to the movies in any way. It's separate. They announced it is not in the same universe. It's a different retelling of the tale.
Are you sure?
I'm like 90% sure.
Okay. All right.
I'm 90% sure on this.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
All right. And then last piece of news before we get into all the Disney stuff. We talked about it last week. Quentin Tarantino is casting his last movie ever. The Movie Critic. Guess who's going to be in this movie? Or at least he's trying to put in this movie. Come on. King.
Is it Tom Cruise?
You're so correct, because it is Tom Cruise. Oh my God. I need this more than I need air. This would be incredible. Tom Cruise was supposed to be in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I believe he was actually supposed to have Leo's role, but he couldn't because of something. I think Top Gun. I would love this. So I'm just putting out in the universe that I don't know what it's going to take. I'll put, I don't know, I'll give money to somebody just to make sure this happens.
You can give me $5.
Because I'll give you $5 if this happens because I need this to happen.
All right.
This has to occur because I would love to see him in this role.
Okay.
So I cannot wait. Oh, this gets me more and more excited for this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
I need to watch some more. I have so many movies on my
You know what we should do? Football. Okay, football's over. Let's take a Sunday in like 2 weeks or something, and we'll just do a marathon, and we'll just watch some stuff that you have not seen that you need to see.
All right.
Does that work?
Right now I want to watch Pulp Fiction next. I think I'm gonna finish the John Wicks first, and then Pulp Fiction's on the on deck, and then Inception. I'd like to see that. Interstellar. I'd like to see Fight Club.
Watch Predator.
And The Hangover. No, not The Hangover. Shoot. What's the Martin Scorsese? Godfather.
Very different from The Hangover.
Very different. Yeah, I know.
They're not the same.
I know.
Yeah, they're not the same.
I never said they were. They just sound.
You said The Hangover, and then you said Martin Scorsese. So, which I'm sure he enjoys The Hangover.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, who doesn't enjoy The Hangover? It's.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
There are a lot of movies I need to watch.
Okay. Let's do Disney talk.
All right.
All right. We're gonna start with the things that aren't as fully Disney. Starting with Marvel. There's a rumor right now that Sam Raimi may be directing Secret Wars.
For the viewers,
I don't think I want him to.
For the viewers, what does he do? What has he done before?
Oh, Sam Raimi?
Yeah.
Are you not familiar with Sam Raimi? Or is it just for the
I'm
viewers?
really familiar, but I just think that you should tell the listeners.
Oh, if you're that familiar, then I'd be happy for you to explain. I feel like I
Hunter,
talk all
you
the time.
always explain better than me. You know that. I think that you should be the one to.
Oh, well, in that case, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
So Sam Raimi got his start by making the Evil Dead movies. And then he made a trilogy of movies that you may or may not have seen called Spider-Man. Have you heard of Spider-Man?
Sure have.
So he made those.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I knew that, but
I know you knew that. I was more talking to the audience, clearly.
Yeah.
And then he made a couple more horror films after Spider-Man. And then he most recently made Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it is rumored that he will be directing Secret Wars.
That's
troubling. Okay, so here's where I'm torn. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, my goats.
But they were
love them. Love them. I also really enjoy Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. However, having said that, I don't think that this movie can handle a Sam Raimi. And I say that because I think this movie needs to be very balanced. It needs to be able to fit all of these different ideas at once. And I know Sam Raimi can not only do that, but he does it well with people, and he does it well with one character. I think when things get overblown, he gets lost in the sauce. Mm-hmm. And that's my worry.
That's fair. The only problem I have with those Spider-Man movies is they're really depressing.
That's what makes them good.
They're really sad movies. If you really just like.
Yes, that's the whole point of Peter Parker.
Yeah, but in the other Spider-Man movies, there's humor, and there's
humor in those Spider-Man movies.
There's not a lot of humor. It's really just.
What about Pizza Time?
That's just a meme that got funny.
Pizza Time is so funny when in Spider-Man 2 when he's going around the thing and trying to get hors d'oeuvres and they're always empty. That was great.
I'm just saying, sad movies, Multiverse of Madness. Could have been so great, really underwhelming. So, I feel like this is kind of devil's advocate here. Like it could be really good.
No, I don't.
I'm not against it, but it's a little troubling. Because I want this movie to be good.
I would like Ryan Coogler to direct.
Okay.
Do you know who Ryan Coogler is?
I do, but the viewers or the listeners might not. So maybe tell them.
Yeah, he directed the first two Black Panther movies.
First two Black Panther movies. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, yes. And Creed 1. So I think that he could handle Secret Wars. Also, maybe bring back the Russo brothers. Just an idea. They haven't done well outside of Marvel, but they know how to do Marvel movies, so the Russo brothers might be a great choice to bring back. And then, without getting fully into the Disney, there's going to be a new Alien movie coming out this August called Alien Romulus. Pretty excited about that. I really enjoy the Alien movies, and so I'm excited to see where that kind of goes. I hope this is one of the good ones and not one of the bad ones.
Heck yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Have you seen any of the Alien movies? Or we have to add that to your list?
Add to the list.
Add it to the list.
It's a chunky list.
Yeah, it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some sequels. Disney announced their new release schedule, and we have Percy Jackson Season 2, so there you go. That's for you.
No. Terrible.
Ugh.
I feel like I'm being such a hater this episode.
It's okay. They dated Mando and Grogu for 2026.
Okay.
Do you want to hear something really stupid?
Probably not, but go
So
for it.
the last Star Wars movie came out in theaters in 2019, and we're not going to have a Star Wars movie until December 2025. All right, give them space to breathe. Then they decided we should put the next one in May 2026. So we're going to go from December to May. Just geniuses over there. They're really just saving the brand. It's actually incredible.
That's terrible.
I don't get it. Also, look, you and I are both big Mandalorian fans. Why are we putting a Disney Plus character that everyone knows and loves because they get to watch him at home in theaters? It makes no sense. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It boggles the mind, actually.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a scummy move, in my opinion, too. Like Disney.
I know. It's like it's so bad.
If you really think about it, Disney Plus is not really that good.
Yes, there's only a few things on there that like I consistently watch.
Exactly. It's Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney Originals and Pixar. That's all they have. And you watch each of those and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then 6 months go by and you're like, they are not coming out with they're not coming out with new stuff enough to make this worth it.
Yeah, and like, look, I like Disney stuff, and like, I'll go back and watch Meet the Robinsons, but like, I'm only gonna do that once a year.
Exactly, and
so like,
you take this new movie, put it into theaters, and it's inspired by a Disney Plus original show. I think it's scummy to put it into theaters. You're just making people spend more money, and that's probably the point.
I'm with you.
That's definitely the point.
I'm with you,
but it's just.
I completely agree. All right, let's talk these other sequels. Zootopia 2. Oh wait, no. Let's go in order of coming first. Moana 2 comes out this year. This was supposed to be a Disney Plus series. They changed it to a movie. I have no issue with that. I actually prefer it to be a movie.
I definitely prefer it to be a movie.
Also, the Moana live-action reboot starts filming this year.
Why?
Yes, that's right. They ran out of Disney classics. They needed to start making the new ones.
No, they didn't. They definitely did not run out.
Oh, I'm still waiting on Tarzan. I'm still waiting on Hercules.
Yeah, they did not run out.
What else they got? I'm still waiting on Sword and the Stone. Oh no, wait, it's called Black Cauldron.
Did they ever make Snow White?
Didn't they?
Cinderella or Princess and the Frog?
Yeah, they made Cinderella. Princess and the Frog is coming.
Moana is not next to... I thought the whole thing was like Disney will never...
Snow White.
Every generation will know Disney, the original stories, in a new
Yeah, they're
format.
making Snow White. Snow White was supposed to come out this year, but they delayed it because of the backlash.
I thought the whole thing was Disney's original stories will never go out of style because they'll be reformatted to like modern screens. Moana was made like 6 years ago.
Exactly. But they're making they're making Snow White. So don't worry.
Okay.
But they have to they're redoing the whole movie.
Hmm.
Because people were mad about it.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. So yeah, Moana live action remake. Frozen 3 comes out in 2026 to the applause of no one. And Zootopia 2 is in 2025. This one I also don't have a super issue with, I'm being honest. I don't think Zootopia needs a sequel, but I understand why they're making it. And then finally, Toy Story 5. Because for some reason, they need to keep making these Toy Story movies after they already made maybe the perfect trilogy. They're doing it again.
Tom Hanks needs to say no.
Well,
He just has to
I
say
don't
no.
disagree with you.
He needs to say no.
I know. It's not good. It's just disappointing. Like, Pixar used to be such an incredible brand where every time something new would come out, you'd have to see it.
Yeah.
And now it's just churning out sequels. I mean, 5 Toy Stories? 5?
Yeah.
And I mean, look, our friends over at Disney, we're very close with them, gave us an exclusive clip. So why don't we listen to this exclusive clip, see what we think about Toy Story 5, and then we'll make our impression about it, all right?
Yeah.
Leaked Walt Disney Toy Story 5 scene.
The year is 2075, and this is Woody. And I've been through a lot lately. You know, I started out with Andy and a great crew, and man, had some amazing friends. I was with Bonnie for a long time, and then I got to spend some time with Bo Peep, until unfortunately, she's no longer with us. And then I was on my own for a long time, and it was a long time for me to be away, and I've realized that this is not the life that I want. I even found out Buzz not too long ago. His battery's corroded and he's no longer with us. But here I am, no batteries, can't shatter, and I'm stuck in this life, and I just want to rest. No matter what I do, I cannot rest. I knew this bear once named Lotso. All he wanted to do was play with kids every day, and I didn't understand at that time, but now I do. When we're playing with kids, we get to relax. We get to go somewhere else. We get to rest. But now I've been alive for so long that I just want the sweet relief of something more. I want to see my friends once again in that big toy box in the sky. But I can't. I can't reach for the sky. I have to keep moving forward because for some reason this is my purgatory. This is the world that I am stuck in. And I must keep telling my story. My goddamn Toy Story. Now hang on. I like this direction. I think this direction works really well.
I mean, might want to bump up the rating a little bit to, PG up to maybe PG-13, but
I'm in on this.
I don't know if kids can digest that,
Maybe they're aging it up with the fans.
Maybe
that's a possibility.
Perhaps,
all right,
yeah.
I'm more into this now that we've heard that. Thank you to our friends over at Disney.
I am more into it, but marginally. Like I'm from a 1 out of 10 to like a 2.5 out of 10.
Okay, I can take that.
Look, I have said this in probably half of the podcast episodes. If there's one thing that I will always live by, is come out with new content. Don't just go to sequels. Don't come out with like spin-offs. It's lazy, and like ultimately people don't want some people definitely do want it, but it's just lazy,
No, I agree.
When Frozen first came out, that was insane. Everyone loved it. When Moana first came out, everyone loved it. Like, what are some of the new Pixar's? Zootopia or What's the
I
one
thought
with
Soul was
Inside
great.
Out? Soul was incredible.
Soul, yeah, I think Turning Red was really good.
I didn't see that one.
I think that the one where it was the Italian boys who were like fish people.
Oh, yeah.
That was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
It's just do something different.
yeah.
I'd rather get 10 more weird Italian boy turning into fish people style movies than another one of these sequels.
Elemental.
So, I don't know.
It was a really. I mean, it wasn't objectively.
But it's new.
It's new, and it was a
But it's
really
new.
neat idea. It was a really neat idea.
Yes. Yes, yeah.
So,
Oh well.
Zootopia 2, Toy Story 5, Frozen 3. When did Frozen 2 come out? Like 2018, 2016?
I know.
Frozen 3's
It's
who's
going to
that
be
gonna
over a
appeal to?
decade.
Yeah, who's
It's
that
going
going
to
to
be over
appeal
a decade.
to? These
I don't
these
know,
little
man.
these children that watched Frozen and loved it are now going into college.
Exactly.
Like they're not going to want to go see Frozen 3.
Well, hang on. We say that now, but remember Toy Story 1 came out in 91 or 99, and I think it was 2013 when Toy Story 3 came out.
The Toy Story is also a story that children and adults both loved. And I think
I
everyone
think there's
was
a lot of adults that love Frozen.
You think?
I think there's a lot that love Frozen, actually.
I don't know. I just
Now
look
that I'm
at
saying
like
it.
I look at Toy Story 3 and like Finding Dory, and these are just Pixar films that were nostalgic for our age growing up, and adults loved them too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being very close-minded.
Yeah.
But I just think it's silly.
No, I think that you're there. All right, well, that was news. We had a lot of it. A lot of news. All right, let's get into trailers. So, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trailers. The way that we're going to do this is I think that I'm going to start with the ones that you, personally, Charles, are least excited about to most excited about. And I'm going to guess as we go along. All right, so
Okay.
here's what I think you're least excited about. Let's first talk about Knuckles. Is that
Okay.
correct? right,
Least
so
excited
Knuckle-
about, I would say you're not.
No.
correct.
Okay. Well, I think then I'll get the next. Okay. So Knuckles. Let's talk about Knuckles first. Knuckles is a spin-off to the 2 Sonic movies and the 3rd one coming out. It is about the titular Knuckles and
Couldn't
his
have guessed that
adventures.
one.
It's a 6-episode series on Paramount, and I don't know. I might watch it. I probably won't. I guess I don't know.
To me, this is
It doesn't look bad. Like, I'll be honest, it looks pretty decent. I'm just not super interested.
hearing it's a show makes me like you are correct. Then now that I definitely knew it was a show, but reminding me that it's a show, that is definitely my least anticipated. This is probably just gonna be nothingness.
Yeah, like
Very empty.
it seems very inoffensive, very fine. It just seems like it's going to be like a, hey kids, you liked the movies, right? Now watch the show. Which there's
Or-
nothing wrong with that. It's
or
just
like
not
you
for
want
me.
to turn something on in the background, throw this on.
Yeah,
One of
and
those.
I hope it's good, but I just don't think it will be.
Yeah.
All right, that was Knuckles talk. That's probably the most you're ever going to hear on this podcast about Knuckles. All right, next up, I think maybe Fall Guy?
No.
Is that your next on your...
No.
Okay, well, let's talk about Fall Guy, because that was the shortest of these trailers. Fall Guy, we've already had a trailer for a few months now. Just a quick little spot for the Super Bowl. And I think it looked fine. Like,
I agree.
it looks... The longer trailer we've seen for the last few months looks great. This didn't change my opinion of it, so
Yeah.
I think that's a win.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Wicked?
No.
Well, okay, what are you least excited for?
Quiet Place.
All right, well, let's talk about Quiet Place.
Also, another trailer that's
Are you
not.
serious?
I so am.
Wait, what's not on the list that I don't have on the list?
If.
That's been out.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's talk about that really fast. Why don't you explain what that was?
it's. I mean, the reason I bring it up is because I felt like the trailer in the Super Bowl was worth noting. It was really funny.
It was kind of funny. It was
Yeah.
the Randall Park joke with John Krasinski where he's Jim from The Office.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a good joke.
Yeah, I think this movie looks terrible.
I kind of think it looks terrible, but I think it's going to be good.
I think it looks so bad. I think the CGI or the green screens look terrible.
You know what it is? There's too many talented people in it for me to think it's going to be bad. That's my thing. I just think there's too many people in it who are talented for it to be like bad.
I think
It might be.
I think John Krasinski is just well connected enough to fill the movie.
I think he's a good director.
What else has he directed?
Quiet Place 1 and 2.
Oh.
Which now let's talk about Quiet Place, day 1. I'm sorry, you're hating on this trailer? This trailer looks awesome.
I didn't see any of the other Quiet Places, so I wasn't really passionate about this.
Oh, brother. This guy
I
stinks.
wasn't. So.
Do you know what they're about?
Yeah, I know what they're about.
Okay.
And I would be interested in watching them. I've never gotten around to it. Story of my life.
All right,
with all these movies.
We're adding Quiet Place to the list now for that Sunday.
That
It's
one
gonna be
is
a long
going to
day
go
for you and
really
I.
low on the list, if I'm being completely honest. There are a lot of movies.
All right. Well, this trailer looks incredible. It's about the first day of the Quiet Place, of the aliens coming to Earth. It seems like it takes place in New York. We're starring Lupita Nyong'o, and I'm really excited about this because I think what's super interesting is in a populated city, people are obviously going to make noise, but it's like, how do you figure out that these creatures don't react if you're quiet? And I think that's really interesting, and I'm excited to see it. This is up there of these trailers we're talking about, of probably one of my more favorite. I would probably put this at number 4 excitement level of all the trailers we've seen that we'll talk about. So just ahead of middle. But yeah, Quiet Place comes out this summer. Sign me up. Okay.
Cool.
Let's see if I can guess the next one on your list. It's got to be Wicked, right?
No.
Okay, we're talking about Wicked next because this is on the bottom of my list.
Really?
I think this looks awful.
Really?
I think the set design is great. I think that the two leads are incredibly talented. I've never seen a movie look so flat. Like, watching this trailer, it looks like they're made out of cardboard. It just doesn't look very good. And I have this issue with every single Broadway movie, like Broadway thing that's turned into a movie. Why not get the most talented and recognizable people who played those roles on Broadway?
That's a good point.
To do it again in the movies.
That's a good point.
You did it with Dear Evan Hansen. You did it with Mean Girls, except for you've messed out in Katie. Get Idina Menzel in this role. Like, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, that might be.
So,
yeah.
and look, I have no issue with the two leads because they're very talented. I think Ariana Grande is very talented. But if I'm going to go see a Wicked movie, I kind of want to see the people who made it famous have the shot to make it even more famous. That's kind of how I feel about it. And I love Wizard of Oz. And I've seen Wicked live. It's one of the few Broadway musicals I've seen.
I think that's a good take. This is probably my number 3, if I'm being completely honest.
Seriously?
I am pretty excited about this. I've never seen...
Wow.
I didn't know Ariana Grande acted. Seeing her in this trailer...
Whoa. Victorious?
Again, I didn't know Ariana Grande acted.
Wow.
Dude, that was like 15 years... No, not 15. That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, still did it.
Yeah, she still did it, but I guess I forgot that Ariana Grande acted. So seeing her in this trailer, I got really excited. I really like musicals, and I think it's gonna be good. Music sounded really good. I forget what that song is. It's not Defying Gravity. It is Defying Gravity.
I think it is.
Yeah, the trailer song, that was Defying Gravity. I thought it sounded great. So.
Yeah. So here's why I'm a little more excited about this. The director of this, John M. Chu, recently directed In the Heights, which I thought was very good. He also directed Crazy Rich Asians. But Charles, did you know this is a part 1?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
This is a two-parter back-to-back years. We get part 1 this Thanksgiving, and part 2 comes out next Thanksgiving.
Okay, I don't like that.
This is a two-parter.
I don't like that one bit.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Because I don't think... Was Wicked that long? Like, I saw it in a music... I saw the musical, and I don't think it was that long.
I don't think it needs to make 2 movies. I don't think it's that long. And if it is, I don't think you need to make... I think you got to cut it down to 1.
I think this is going to come down to Ariana Grande. If Ariana Grande acts, this works. If she can't, yikes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. All right. So then, if that's number 3 on your list... okay, fine. We're going to talk about, of the last 4 we have to talk about, we're going to talk about my least favorite then next. Kung Fu Panda 4.
You stink. You're a little rascal.
We've already seen the
scumbag.
We've already seen the trailer.
I'm
We've
still
already
excited.
seen the trailer.
I'm still excited though. That's my number 2.
I just don't think this looks great. There's something about this movie where I don't think it looks good.
No, I'm completely with you.
And-
It looks really bad, but and
I don't get it.
but I'm still very, very excited for it, and I'm
Okay.
anticipating it quite a bit. So
No, and hey,
It
you're
does
a big
look-
fan, that's what you should.
it looks like a really flat story. I
Yeah.
mean, you think about the first 3, and it's like mind, body, and soul. Body, Tai Lung,
Yeah.
just purely physical. Mind, I hate that I can't... Shang, maybe that was the villain's name. Like, the whole thing was that he killed Poe's parent, or Poe's mom. And Poe
Yeah.
keeps getting flashbacks. Like, that's all mind. And then the third, with, I can't believe I can't remember that villain's name, but it's soul. Like, he literally comes back from the dead with the chi, the soul of all these past masters. If you think about that, like what a poetic trilogy, you know?
No, I don't disagree.
And
I
then-
think that I think the trilogy is good. I just don't think this looks good.
I agree. I think, and where I was going with that is, this 4th one, it's so hard to compete with what those first 3 did, that I think the whole thing is like, this one's about time, maybe. But it's just comparatively, this story looks really weak. In my opinion.
No, I'm with you. But yeah, I have nothing else to add. I think Kung Fu Panda 4, we're gonna see it. It just doesn't really move the needle for me. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
it
fair.
doesn't. Okay, so we have 3 left. I think we should talk about Planet of the Apes next.
Okay.
So Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes comes out very soon. It's many years after the reign of Caesar. A new young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything. I think that this is going to be incredible. I think that the new Planet of the Apes trilogy is one of the better trilogies of all time. Hand up, I'll say it. I'm very excited for this. You know, it's already in my top 5 of the year. We mentioned it earlier out in the podcast. I just think this looks so good. I'm very excited for this. And I think that you and I feel the opposite way about this and Kung Fu Panda.
No.
Is that kind of correct? Okay, no, so you're excited for this.
Yeah. I would say yes. I need to watch those first few first, but I know the premise of those first 2, and seeing this trailer, it is very interesting to me. It's kind of a hard, for me at least, it's a little bit of a hard concept to swallow. That humanity can
The
get
idea of apes running it?
not the idea of apes running it, but the idea that humans can get toppled and become the inferior race.
Oh, okay. So you didn't because you haven't seen the other movies.
Yeah. Well, I
They
saw
explained
the
that.
first one. I saw the first one. A long
Where they
time
explain
ago.
why we're the way that we are
Yeah.
with the illness and everything.
Okay, I gotta watch it again. But
Okay, so just real fast. Basically, there's an illness that goes around. It makes apes smarter and people dumber. That's the whole thing. Which is how we get conquered and they get smart.
okay, but it does look really good, and the apes look incredible.
It looks so
They look so good. So
What a lovely day.
is Twisters
Looks
your
so
next
sick.
one?
Yeah, I'm gonna say something really bad.
Do you
I'm gonna
think
say
that
something
this
really
movie's
bad.
actually going to be good, or do you just have it be up there because
I'm
of
gonna say
Glenn
something
Powell?
really bad. I think the Twisters trailer got me more hyped than the Deadpool 3 trailer.
Okay.
Isn't that weird? I don't know why. I think probably maybe Glenn Powell. Okay,
It's
well, let's
definitely
talk
Glenn
about Twisters
Powell.
next.
This trailer looked...
Let's talk about Twisters.
Okay.
Let's talk about Twisters. Let's talk
You
about
give your
Twisters.
two... Do you want me to go first or you?
Let me just do a quick what it is, and then you'll give your thoughts first.
Okay.
Okay, it's a late sequel / kind of reboot to the 1996 film Twister. Centers on a pair of storm chasers who risk their lives in an attempt to test an experimental weather alert system. What are your thoughts?
I could not be less excited for this movie.
No,
This
seriously?
this movie looked like... I watched it and I was like,
No.
this looks like just the most boring movie I've ever seen. It literally just looks about people looking at a tornado.
What?
Glenn Powell doesn't do it for me. I haven't seen enough of his work to have an opinion. And I just wasn't, I wasn't a fan. This is probably bottom 3 of the trailers that we have talked about. No. It could be bottom 4 and top 5 at the same time. So it's probably like a little bit lower than average.
There's something about this trailer that I love, dude.
In what?
Glenn Powell in that cowboy hat works for me. I think that there's just a little bit of like cheesy campiness to this trailer that I really enjoy, and I don't know, something about like them. It feels like they're on a set, getting blown around by wind machines. Kind of makes me excited to watch this. Do I think this is going to be good? No, but do I think this is going to be like a weird flashback to like 90s action movies? Kind of, yeah.
If they use...
And also... No, wait, go ahead.
If they used cameras to make it resemble a 90s, I'd be with you. But they're using modern cameras. It looks like a modern movie, and if they're trying to make you feel like you're in the 90s without doing that, I think that's a very sad attempt. Kind of like what the Holdovers did. Like, you've got older music.
No, okay.
You've got
I understand now.
Older attire. You got an older, warmer feel with the cameras they used, or maybe like the type of video they used. So if that's what Twister's trying to do, I think that's lame, because they didn't do it right.
No, I don't disagree with that. Also, I want to point out that our future Superman is in this movie, David Gornsweat, and I watched the trailer twice, specifically looking just for him, and he's in it for all of 0.2 seconds. He's in the background of a shot, and he was there. So they're hiding Superman from us once again. But no, I think something about this movie, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty excited for this. It looks kind of cheesy and campy in the best possible way.
All right, makes one of us.
Like, yeah, no, I'm.
You're excited for that. I'm excited for Kung Fu Panda. We both think these
that'll
movies
be the
aren't
one
going
where
to
we'll
be great.
switch. Yeah.
So there we go.
Okay, hang on. Can I make you possibly get more excited for this?
You can try.
The writer of this movie also wrote the first Jurassic Park. Does that make you more excited?
No.
Like, he's the person who came up with Jurassic Park. Like, he's the original Jurassic Park guy. More or less excited?
Same. That doesn't move the needle for me.
All right, let's talk about the one everyone's been waiting for. Let's talk about Deadpool 3.
There we go. I'm very excited for this one.
All right. I think we should really break this down. So let's start at the beginning. So this movie's titled Deadpool and Wolverine. Opens up with Deadpool at a birthday. Was it his birthday? It kind of looks like.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, his birthday, and then his friends are there. He's got a weird wig on. Says it's been a great year, but kind of weird. Knock at the door. It's the TVA from Loki. TVA is there. They're there to prune him, and they do push him through a time door, and he's sitting there with Matthew McFadden from Succession. Off to an amazing start. Just like that, he is now in the MCU. It seems like here's my prediction. I think that at the end of Deadpool 2, he gets that time machine device from Cable. I think that is what upsets the TVA. But after the events of Loki Season 2, where Loki kind of holds down the timelines, I don't think that they're then going after him for messing up timelines, because why would they? Loki's handling it. And we kind of learned that was fake from the one above. Think that they're going... He Who Remains, thank you. I think that they're going after Loki because Loki is one of the few heroes, maybe in the multiverse, that can jump around through time. And since he can't die, he has the opportunity to recruit a team. And I think that they're using Deadpool, and which is why I think he said, "You're space," or "I'm Marvel's Jesus," to basically put together a multiversal team to protect the TVA. That is my thought process of this trailer. Do you disagree or agree?
You thought about this a lot more than I did. I'll agree, just because I don't really have a thought of my own. Yeah, wow. I kind of just watched and I was like, okay, let's do it. I didn't think about what might happen.
No, I was just thinking about it in the last little bit of what I think kind of went down during that.
Mm-hmm. No, I think those are really interesting ideas. So do you think that this multiversal team, Loki's recruiting them, or the TVA is recruiting them to take down Loki?
I think that since Loki has now handled the timelines, which was the sole job of the TVA is now basically changing their role, and they're saying, okay, now that we have Loki, we need a team to protect him.
Okay, I see.
That's what they're putting together. From another Kang variant, because there's, like Kang said, there's always another one.
Okay. I like that. I think that's good.
And so there's a few moments in this trailer I want to talk about specifically. One, where Loki is in what appears to be a casino, and you see a gentleman in a white suit, hair kind of fold up. That is exactly from the comics what a version of Wolverine looked like. So that's definitely Wolverine. I think that there's a great line where he's watching the screens and sees the Avengers and salutes to Captain America.
Yep.
Awesome. I think that his suit looks incredible.
Yep.
One of the best comic suits ever. There's also a specific scene where there's a truck overturned in the background, and Deadpool is behind a fallen tree. I think that is from Avengers 2, where they're in that woods in the beginning.
Oh.
In Sokovia. I think he's there. And I think that this whole movie will be him jumping around to different parts of the MCU timeline, just watching and seeing things and maybe messing stuff up. There's also a scene where he is clearly in the end time of Loki Season 1 with Eliath, that smoke monster thing. And then there's that part where he's fighting by the 20th Century Fox sign, and then Wolverine shows up. And so we're going to get that. But I'm so excited for this movie.
Yeah,
this was exactly the trailer it needed. It showed us so little, yet gave us so much to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree. Completely.
Oh, man. I think... All right, let's do a little more thought process on this. I think that one thing... There's going to be a lot of cameos in this movie. What is some of the cameos that you want to see most? Because I have my two.
In the MCU, cameos.
Or outside the MCU. Because my two are not in the MCU. Oh, no. I have three. One is the MCU. I can go first so you can think about it.
Yeah, could you go first?
Yeah, okay. So I have one in the MCU. I think he should save Quicksilver. I think that'd be a really cool kind of thing. I think one outside the MCU, I'd love to see him bring in Paul Giamatti's Rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then the last one outside the MCU is I would love to see Elektra and Ben Affleck Daredevil. Those are my three.
Yeah, all right. Sure. That is so tricky. Just because I haven't really thought about it.
I mean, Professor X would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but we've seen him.
Maybe the OG Fantastic Four.
I would not. Well, no, you can't do that because Chris Evans.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean? Of course you could. Then that'd be so much funnier.
Be confusing.
No. And Chris Evans did that cameo for him in Free Guy, so there's a possibility.
Oh yeah.
So I think that'd be pretty cool.
For some reason, my first thought went to the OG War Machine in Iron Man 1.
That would be great.
That's what my first thought went to.
That would be pretty funny. Like, he finally gets to suit up and then Deadpool kills him.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to see him.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah.
That works for me. I like that one a lot.
Besides that, though, I don't know.
I'm looking at the writers right now to see who wrote these. Who wrote this movie? It seems like the writers of Bob Burgers are really kind of handling this along with Sean Levy, who's the director.
Maybe the OG Hulk.
And then obviously, ooh, that'd be good. I really liked how they just didn't show us much in this trailer.
Yeah.
God, that suit looks... I'm looking at pictures of the suit right now. It looks so good.
Dude, same with Wolverine's suit. They both look so good.
Looks so good.
Yeah.
No, this is exactly what this movie needed. It got me really excited without showing me much. And I'm back. Just like that. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me right back in.
Yep.
So yeah. Anything else on all that news and trailers?
I don't think so.
All right.
That was a good unpacking.
That was a good unpacking. All right, quick look ahead to next week. We have 2 reviews next week. We're doing Bob Marley, One Love, and Madam Web, our first Marvel movie ever on the podcast. Very excited for that. We'll do some news, some trailer stuff. Probably very light on the trailers next week, just because a lot of stuff came out tonight. But yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else on your end, Charles?
Nope.
Awesome. Well, all right then. For Charles, I'm Hunter, and hey, thanks so much for listening.